It all started when I booked an Airbnb for the weekend getaway with my friends. The moment we entered the house, something felt off. There was a strange smell in the air, and the air was bone-chillingly cold. We tried to ignore it, thinking it's just our imagination. But little did we know, this weekend will be something we'll never forget. As the night approached, we went to bed hoping to sleep tight. But that's when the real nightmare began. At around midnight, we all woke up to strange noises coming from the attic. It sounded like someone was walking around, dragging something heavy across the floor. We decided to investigate, thinking it might be some animal or bird. But what we saw will haunt us forever. There was a figure, a dark shadowy figure in the attic, staring at us intently. The next morning, we decided to leave the house and never looked back. But as we were packing our bags, we heard a voice, a disembodied voice that whispered, "Don't leave." We ran out of the house, leaving everything behind. Fast forward to the present, our friend who was with us on that weekend getaway disappeared mysteriously. The police searched the whole house but found nothing. We tried to tell them about the haunting experience we had, but they didn't believe us. It's been a year, and we haven't heard from our friend since. It all started when I decided to go on a weekend camping trip with some friends. We wanted to get away from the city and spend a few days in nature. We set up our tents in a secluded area and started a campfire to roast some marshmallows. We were having a great time until we heard some strange noises coming from the woods. At first, we assumed it was just an animal, but the noises continued to get louder and more sinister. We started to feel uneasy, and that's when things started to go wrong. As we hear the noises, we look at each other, wondering what could be making them. We hear a strange growl, and we all jump. I pull out my flashlight, shining it at the woods, trying to see what could be lurking in the shadows. Suddenly, we hear a twig snap, and we all freeze, not daring to move. The next day, we decided to go for a hike, hoping to shake off the weird feeling from the night before. But what we found in the woods was even more disturbing. We stumbled upon some strange footprints in the dirt that were unlike anything we had seen before. They were large and inhuman, and they led off into the woods, disappearing beyond the trees. As we followed the footprints, we came across an abandoned cabin that was run down and decrepit. There was an eerie feeling in the air as we approached it, and we could hear strange noises coming from inside. We hesitated but decided to push the door open to take a closer look. As we entered the cabin, we realized that we had made a grave mistake. The air was thick with dust, and the creaking floorboards gave us an uneasy feeling. We could see strange symbols etched into the walls, and there was an eerie glow coming from the floor. It felt like we were walking straight into a horror movie. That's when all hell broke loose. We ran out of the cabin, and we could hear something chasing us through the woods. We didn't dare look back, sensing that if we did, we would be met with something straight out of our worst nightmares. And that's all I can say. The rest is just too terrifying to put into words. I hope you guys enjoyed this story and had your share of chills and thrills. Remember, never go into the woods at night, and always be on the lookout for things that go bump in the night. Innocently enough, on a Friday night, I was hanging out with some friends, looking forward to a relaxing weekend ahead. Little did I know, fate had a different plan for me. As the sun went down, things took a turn for the worst. I received a mysterious phone call from an unknown number. Something about that call sent chills down my spine, but curiosity got the better of me. I answered, and that's when the nightmare began. Saturday morning arrived, and I decided to take a peaceful hike in a nearby forest to clear my head. Little did I know, this was a decision I would soon regret. As I wandered deeper into the woods, the path seemed to disappear, and I found myself completely lost. The trees whispered secrets I couldn't understand, and the silence was deafening. Panic started to set in, and I realized I was not alone. Something or someone was watching me from the shadows. As if things couldn't get any worse, I stumbled upon an abandoned house hidden deep within the woods. Against my better judgment, I decided to explore its decaying walls. The atmosphere inside was suffocating, and the air was thick with dread. Every creak and groan echoed through the halls, and every shadow seemed to have a life of its own. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched by an unseen presence. Fear consumed me, and I knew I had to find a way out before it was too late. Just when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, I came face to face with the source of all this terror. It was a horrifying creature, straight out of my worst nightmares. Its eyes gleamed with malice, and its twisted smile sent shivers down my spine. In that moment, I had to summon all the courage I had left. I fought back with everything I had, determined to escape this nightmare once and for all. The battle was intense and heart-pounding, but luckily, I managed to survive.